Hey, low-spec warriors. Welcome back to Low-Spec Laptop Gamer, where we put the latest games to the ultimate test. Can they run on a potato? Today, we're diving into Thymesia, a Souls-like action RPG that promises pain, suffering, and frame drops? We'll see. I've got my trusty i3-powered, no-graphics card laptop ready to roll, and we're about to find out if Thymesia is playable on this rig or if it's destined for the uninstall bin. Spoiler alert. It's not going to be silky smooth, but hey, that's why we're here, right? So, grab a snack, and let's see if we can turn this low-end machine into a pixelated powerhouse. So, first things first, I was immediately drawn to Thymesia after watching some gameplay. It's a Souls-like, so I had to give it a shot. As usual, the first thing I did was dive into the settings like a hungry gamer at an all-you-can-eat buffet, cranking everything down to the lowest possible option. Resolution? 720p graphics? Low/off. Let's just say we weren't aiming for eye candy here. But I did something a little different this time. Instead of throwing the FSR to Ultra Performance, which turns your game into a Minecraft mod, I set it to Quality, and you know what? That was the sweet spot. The game didn't look like a pile of pixels anymore. It actually had some visual charm, while still being playable. Surprisingly, the performance wasn't too shabby for my potato PC. I was getting around 30 FPS most of the time. Sure, it dipped occasionally, probably when the game was like, wait, what is this PC doing trying to run me? But it stayed mostly playable. Not the buttery smooth performance of a high-end rig, but hey, we're used to a bit of struggle here. It's like playing in slow motion, which is great for dodging, maybe? Now let's get to the good stuff, the gameplay. If Dark Souls is a gourmet meal, then Thymesia is like the McDonald's of Souls-likes. It's quick, it's convenient, and it can satisfy your hunger for a while, but there's definitely something a little off, like they forgot the salt in the fries. The combat initially feels like you're trying to fight with a rubber chicken. It's awkward and clumsy, and you're left wondering why the enemies are looking at you like, is that all you've got? I spent my first few encounters flailing around like a headless chicken, trying to figure out what my character was capable of while dodging attacks that felt like they were coming from all directions. It was the classic beginner's experience, dying more times than I could count while my laptop's fan hummed away like it was trying to hold back laughter. But here's the kicker. After a bit of practice and some serious trial and error, the combat system clicked for me. I started to get a grip on the timing, and suddenly, I was parrying attacks like I actually knew what I was doing. The mechanics became surprisingly satisfying, almost like when you finally nail that perfect burger flip on the grill. Sure, it's a bit clunky and can feel sluggish at times, especially on my low-end rig, but when it works, oh boy, does it feel good. The combat has a rhythm to it that, once you master it, feels rewarding. The animations of your character dodging and retaliating can make you feel like a total badass, even if you're fighting what looks like a glorified chicken nugget with a sword. Now, let's talk about the bosses. You ever had that one boss in a game that makes you question your life choices and wonder if you've truly dedicated too many hours to gaming? Yeah, Thymesia has a few of those. Their ultimate attacks? Let me tell you, these are not just flashy animations. They're like a fireworks show designed to ruin your day. You can't dodge them, parry them, or interrupt them. Your only hope is to stand far enough away that you don't get hit. Easier said than done when they're throwing ultimates like confetti at a birthday party. You'll find yourself desperately trying to find cover while also figuring out when to strike back. It's a bit frustrating at first. It feels like the game is actively conspiring against you in the most humorous way possible. But once you accept that you're going to get hit a few times and start treating it like a dance-off where you sometimes step on your partner's toes, it becomes almost comical. I mean, who doesn't love a good game of how many times can I die before I finally beat this guy? One aspect that sets Thymesia apart from other Souls-likes is its level system. Instead of a continuous open world that seamlessly ties everything together, you're teleported to a hub after each level, where you can catch your breath and plot your next move like a game of chess. It breaks up the flow a bit, but given the shorter nature of Thymesia, it actually works well. I found that each level felt like a contained adventure, almost like a series of mini challenges. Yes, the hub system makes the world feel a little disjointed, but it's nice to have a break between battles, a chance to strategize and mentally prepare for the next inevitable demise. As for the enemies, well, let's just say you're going to see the same ones a lot. There's not a ton of variety in their designs, which can make battles feel repetitive. It's like going to the same fast food place a few times in a row. You know what you're getting, and while it's enjoyable, you might start to crave something more. That said, the fast-paced nature of the gameplay kept me engaged. While you might fight the same types of foes repeatedly, they still come at you with different attack patterns, making each encounter feel unique in its own right. Plus, the game isn't too long, so I found that I could forgive the lack of variety. It's like the game is saying, hey, I may not be gourmet, but at least I'll fill you up for a couple of hours. So, what's the final verdict? If you're a fan of Souls-likes and you're on the hunt for something a bit different, but not too different, Thymesia might be worth checking out. It's like that burger you find at a roadside diner. A little rough around the edges, maybe a bit charred from being left on the grill a tad too long, but still surprisingly tasty. You might not be raving about it to your friends afterward, but it can definitely hit the spot when you're hungry for some action. The performance on my low-end PC was better than I expected. With the right settings dialed in, you can get a playable experience, even on an i3 with integrated graphics. Sure, it won't break any records for smoothness or graphics fidelity, but if you're like me and crave that Souls-like experience without having to sell a kidney for a high-end rig, you'll find that it's definitely doable. Now, let's talk about the game's charm. It has that distinct flavor of indie development, you know, the kind that might not have the polish of a big-budget title, but offers something unique and authentic. It's got heart, and sometimes that's what you're looking for when diving into a new game. You can feel the effort that went into crafting its world and mechanics. The lore is intriguing, even if it's delivered in snippets, and there's a certain satisfaction in overcoming the game's challenges, especially on a low-end setup. Every victory feels like a small triumph, as if you're waving a little victory flag in the face of your specs. Now, I'd give the game a solid 7 out of 10. It's not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but it's got enough going for it to keep you entertained for a few hours. You'll find yourself chuckling at your own fails, cheering on your successes, and maybe even falling in love with the quirky mechanics that make it stand out in a crowded genre. And let's be honest, in the world of low-spec gaming, getting something that runs at all feels like a win. When your laptop struggles to even boot up a browser without wheezing, finding a game that actually works and gives you a decent experience is a rare gem. So, if you're looking for a quick jaunt into a challenging world, where the combat is reminiscent of your favorite Souls-like games, but with its own flair, Thymesia is certainly worth a shot. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or just someone looking for a casual romp through a gritty fantasy realm, give it a whirl. Just remember to lower those settings and keep your expectations in check, and you might just find yourself enjoying the ride. Alright, low-spec squad, that's it for today's review. Thymesia might not be the next big thing in the Souls-like genre, but it's definitely worth a try if you're working with a potato PC like mine. Let me know in the comments if you've played this game, or if you've got any suggestions for other titles I should test. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more low-end gaming content, and as always, keep gaming, no matter how low your specs are. See you in the next one.